Yo, what is going on YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitch and the Twitter universe? How are you all doing today? Welcome to our daily check-in. Well, this is our twice a month, or one of the streams that we do every single month for our Summer of CCNA program, where everybody is welcome to join. If you're not sure who I am, because this is streamed to the Network Chuck YouTube, my name is Zach, and I work for the Network Chuck Academy. I'm here to host today. If you're looking for Chuck, he should be joining us in a little bit. And if you're looking for the daily check-in for today, you're in the right place. You made it here, and we are ready to go. We do get these streams started about 10 minutes early, so we do a daily check-in every single day for the Summer of CCNA program. If you're not sure what the Summer of CCNA program is, go and check it out. We are learning a lot about Cisco networking right now. We just got started with the labs a couple weeks ago. So students are diving into the labs really heavy, getting involved there, which is really exciting. And if you're interested in becoming a part of that, definitely come and check us out. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions y'all have as well. And I will be checking the chat, but again, just so you all know, you're not missing out on anything just yet. We just want to get these started so that everybody can get logged in and be prepared for today's endeavors, which I'm stoked about because we're talking about certifications, which is something that I am very, very familiar with. And I know that Chuck and Jeremy are as well. We have a special guest joining us today, Eric Pope. Eric is actually the one who helped build out a lot of our labs, which is really awesome. He's a really great guy, super smart too. And he just took the CCNA this week. So he's going to help give us a lot of perspective on, the current state of the exam, which is really cool. And hello, everybody in the chat. Where is everybody tuning in from around the world? Unfortunately, we're not solely on Discord. I love to throw this question out to Discord because everybody can throw their favorite GIF in the chat. But unfortunately, with like YouTube and LinkedIn, you can't really do that. So where's everybody calling in from today? I am calling in from Illinois. So 2 hours outside of Chicago, in the middle of nowhere. And again, I'll probably say this reminder a couple times. If you're just joining us, we get these streams started a few minutes early so that y'all can get logged in and ready to go. But in about 5 more minutes, we should be joined by Jeremy and Chuck, and we're going to talk about certifications today, which, again, it's a very exciting topic for me. Chicago, Illinois, that's right. Represent Chicago. Love to see that. Mystic Silvermoon, you're saying that getting your CCNA is the most chaotic and exciting thing you've ever done. I love to hear that. Good luck to you in your endeavors. Codism, what, you're setting up zero trust network for your home lab from Fortinet. That sounds like fun. Yeah, we got people from all over the world. UK, Saudi Arabia, we got Belgium, Nigeria in the house, Canada. I love it. Ghana. Oh my gosh. No, I am not Chuck. If you're joining, hello everybody. My name is Zach Hill and I work for Network Chuck Academy, and I help host these daily live streams that we do. I've done a lot of other things as well, but y'all aren't here for me. I know. But I am here to help you. That is my job. That's what I get to do for Network Chuck Academy, is help as many people as I possibly can learn something new. And that's my purpose. Like, that is my purpose in life. So it's exciting for me to be here with Network Chuck, the Academy, Jeremy, of course, and the whole team. It's really great. Very excited. Chuck should be joining us any minute. He's still, I believe, in Vegas for Cisco Live. Is there anybody in the chat who attended Cisco Live? Wow, you all are still letting me know where you're calling in from. Y'all are all over the place. I love it. You like the purpose of mine? I like the purpose of me too. I'm all about helping people, especially as it relates to IT. So it just blends really well together. That My purpose is helping people, and my passion is information technology. And I get to blend those two together, and it is the best experience for me because I get like the best of both worlds. Here's Jeremy. I'll pull up Jeremy. How you doing today, sir? Uh-oh, you're muted. I don't hear you. Is it me? It could be me. It very well could be me. I'm gonna double check. No. Who's clicking buttons? I hear the audio from the stream, but I don't hear audio from you, Jeremy. He broke it. This is another reason why I try to get these things started a little bit early too. Oh, here's Eric too. Hey, Eric.
Hello, hello.
I got Eric. Jeremy.
I can hear you now. Yeah, better.
No.
Yeah, my whole browser froze. It was like, I'm unresponsive. Would you like to? I was like, what the? So,
how many tabs do you have open right now, Jeremy?
I don't know. Well, can you still hear me? It just went unresponsive again. So now it's so. I think I'm gonna have to exit and come back in. This is why we start a little bit early.
This is exactly why. Yep. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Let me bail and restart Chrome.
No problem. See you in a few. So if you're joining us, we do get these started a little bit early so we can, make sure that everything is working properly. So if you are here joining us, you're not missing anything just yet. We are joined by Eric Pope today here. I mentioned that earlier. Eric took the CCNA this week, so he's going to talk a little bit about his experience there, which is going to be super exciting when we get to that point. But thank you for joining us, Eric. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just at the airport, heading back home after Cisco Live.
In warm, sunny Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Sure. There's Jeremy. How you doing now?
Feels better now. There's it was like, I'm in. So Chrome just needed to be kicked.
So, sometimes it needs that. Chrome can be finicky.
Eric, so good to see you. Thank you for making the time. I know it probably was not easy to get to the airport and find a quiet space at the airport to get there. How was Cisco Live this year?
It was good. I always enjoy Cisco Live. It's a bunch of coworkers go and hang out, see all the different vendors and some good breakouts. I went to a good troubleshooting breakout. So yeah, it was fun.
Very cool, but not as cool as last year.
Yeah, you're not here.
Yeah, no. Last year it was fun. Chuck and I went to Cisco Live, and he brought his whole team, and we ended up going to dinner. Eric joined us. It was cool. I had as I think back, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole trip, was just hanging out at dinner and everybody's talking. Is good time of connection.
I believe Chuck should be joining us. He gave us the thumbs up, but
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
Let me give you the reality of Cisco Live for a Chuck, because I went through this last time I was there. When you get to Cisco Live, like he is in like the mecca of Chuckness, right? Like as you walk around, when I went last year, it was funny because I haven't been to Cisco Live in a long time. Last year was the first time, and the minute I showed up, people are like, Jeremy Chara, and so you end up getting invited to a whole bunch. So I guarantee you that Chuck, with the best of intentions, was like, I will be there, and somewhere there's a mob around him being like, can you sign my book? So that is the way of Cisco Live.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, we can go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody to one of our 90-minute check-ins for the Summer of CCNA. We do these twice a month. So twice every month, we do a live show where it's open to everybody in the entire world. So if you guys want to join us, ask questions, or just hear what the program's all about, these are definitely great opportunities for you guys to come and check that out. If you haven't signed up for the Summer of CCNA program yet, you still can. You'll get access to all the premium labs that we have there, and you'll be able to follow along with us, which I want to say a huge shout out to Eric for helping put together those labs, which are phenomenal. Also want to give a shout out to Skillbit, because Skillbit is helping us host a lot of these labs for us, and they've been phenomenal. So thank you again to Skillbit for helping us out there. Let me make sure I get a link to them in the chat. There you go. Fantastic resource for y'all as well. But yeah, if you guys also haven't joined the Discord, please make sure you join our Discord as well, because that's where we try to keep all this communication together. And it's very much a community feel where we can come together and help each other out. And I want to give another huge shout out to all of the members of the Discord, especially our mods, because y'all have been phenomenal in helping support all of our Sumer of CCNA students, and even the students yourselves. Like, I'll give you guys all a round of applause as well, because you guys have been so incredibly helpful for one another. And I love seeing that. You know, for somebody who just loves helping people, watching other people do the helping is always like such an amazing thing to see. Y'all are paying it forward, and I cannot express to y'all how much we appreciate that. So thank y'all for being part of the program. Today, we're going to be talking about certifications, which we'll talk heavily about the CCNA certification for sure. And we have some questions queued up already, but Eric's here to share his experience with it. But yeah, if you have questions, you throw them in the chat. We'll see if we can get to them when we can. But I'm going to pass it over to Jeremy, because I know he's excited to get started. So go ahead.
Great. And I am too, because each time we're doing this, it gets better. I'm going to try this right now. I'm going to click show.
You got it.
Zach, it works. So now, we've made the move from Discord over to YouTube for a lot of the chats, and this allows us to reach so much more. And Discord, we were blowing it up. We had so many people in there, the video streams would cut out and all of that, and so it took a minute. So now we are here. And yes, like I'm looking at the little questions here. They talk about the changes in the CCNA course that are supposed to be coming. Yes, we will. And some of the advice there. But let me also make sure I mentioned why is Eric here? We always bring Eric along to some of the key sessions. But we were talking earlier this week. Eric is at Cisco Live, and for your entrance fee, they will tell you you get a free certification exam. And Eric said, I'm just going to go get recertified in CCNA. So he did that. Yes, true. Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Cool. So I was like, well, there it is. We've got some fresh test experience with the current version of the CCNA. And yes, I'm not even going to go into the blah, 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 non-disclosure, blah. You guys know that, right? And Eric's not going to be like, so when you see this, the answer is B. But he is going to give you a sense of what that is all about. I want to start off by saying we are literally going to show you exactly what is on the CCNA exam. And I'm going to do that right now. And you can find out exactly what is on the CCNA exam too by just going to Google and typing in CCNA exam objectives. And the first, it was the first link. Now it changed. It was right there. The first link on there should go to, if we get past all of the, I'm guessing these are all the sponsored ones, blah, 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 blah. Where'd it go? Google has become a non-Google lately. I think what's happening is their AI is like eating up their sponsored results. So hang on, when I hit this, it was right there.
Try exam topics.
Let's try that. Exam topics. It's funny. Literally right before this, I was like, let's do this. But when I exited my my browser, I lost all of my links that were right there. So exam topics. Actually, Eric, do you have it on yours? Can you pull it up? I don't know why I think Cisco is like, or Cisco, Google is like, he's live streaming right now. Let's hose him. So there we go. Let me just go from here. I'll just pick this guy because I know I can navigate from here. So this is right on Cisco's website. We've got view CCNA exam topics. Click on that, and that, yes, will take you right here. There we go. I landed at the right spot. So it says so this is news. The last date to test for the current version is February 2nd, 2027. Let's start there on just the questions for this. Everybody immediately asks, okay, Should I take the old version or should I take the new version? I will tell you succinctly, take the old version. Take the version right now. Because one, it's right now. Like, we are in the middle of June and you've got what, almost more than half a year before the new version is even available. And immediately, if you're like, oh, I'll just wait for the new version, you park your motivation right there. But the second thing is there's no, like, Eric, if you look at your CCNA, your transcript, there's no one that sees like Eric was a CCNA, 0.5 or 1.0, or you're a CCNA or you're not.
Right.
So go after it. The new version is almost guaranteed to be harder. They always increase that. So I'll stop right there on that. Take the old version. The new version is, they just announced this a couple weeks ago, and there it is. So right down there is the exam details. It is $300 per attempt. There's a whole soapbox I want to go on there, but I'm not going to. 120 minutes is how long you have to take it. Pass-fail result available online within 24 hours. No, right then. When you finish the exam, you have that moment where it's like, are you sure you want to end the test? Yes. And calculate, and boom. And Eric, let me ask you, I'm guessing still works the same way?
Yeah. So you push the button, the printer starts printing down the corner, you stand up, you walk over to them, they hand you pass, and they say either congratulations or good luck next time.
Yep. And your stomach, like, we'll go through the emotional impact in a little while. But right here, this is where you expand it. If you're like, okay, what do I need to know? 1.0, network fundamentals. Explain the role and function of network components. If you can go in and explain the role and function of a router, check, you're prepared. Can you explain the role and function of a layer 2 and layer 3 switch? Actually, it's funny enough. Yesterday's live stream, when we were doing it, we inadvertently stumbled into layer 3 switching. There you go. Yesterday's live stream literally checked off this exam objective cold. What does the layer 2 switch do? And what does the layer 3 switch do? We even got into SVIs, switch virtual interfaces, and all of that. That's it. So down and down and down you go. I mean, for those of you that have been with the Sumer of CCNA and you're keeping pace with the course, I guarantee you are already looking, you're like, oh, I know what the MAC address table is, the CAM table. I know what the MAC, like, it's literally, Eric, when you're studying for the exam, now I know you probably went in, my guess is spontaneously blind to the CCNA exam on Monday, yes?
Pretty much. I mean, so a little bit of background. I've initially got my CCNA, I don't know, 15 plus years ago. Renewed it once after that, let it expire. And that's why I went back this time. I was like, oh, it's expired, let's renew it. And so that's why I took it this time. But I was helping some coworkers study every once in a while, but I wasn't really studying myself. So I was freshening up, but yeah, went in kind of blind.
Yep. And so if you were studying, which Eric did not, and that's just because Eric's got plenty of real world experience, and I know he could do this cold. I'm not going to ask you if you passed, but actually I'm going to ask you if you passed later. Did you pass?
I did.
Oh, okay. It's just like, we may ruin the credibility of this entire stream right now, but I just got to know. So Eric is now recertified CCNA. And there's a big difference between knowing the stuff and being able to pass the exam. It just is. So when I'm studying for an exam where I have to prepare, I will literally go in and print this stuff out, expand each one of these. Nowadays, copy and paste it to a thing, or nowadays just go into AI and say, put this into a checklist, little boxes next to it. And as I'm feeling comfortable, I use 3 forms of check. I either don't check it, which means I'm like, I'm going to wing that one. And so let me pause right there. As you're preparing, you will not, unless you are like, I don't even need this exam. I'm at Cisco Live. I'm going to take it just because I'm here. You will not know everything on the exam cold. I always look and I go, okay, if it's blank, that means I just ran out of time and I'm not even going to study, for example, routing protocol code. I don't even know what that is, routing protocol code. But I'm assuming communication, or how to configure routing protocols. But I would not I would be like, I don't know what routing protocol code is. Network mask, next stop. So again, in the AI world, I would take this whole thing and I would paste that into AI and be like, what is a routing protocol code? Eric, I'm just going to ask you because that one caught me off guard. I'm like, I've never even, this is probably somebody who is non-technical that wrote the summary of this is my guess.
They might have a typo in there. Who knows? They've been updating it recently, so who knows?
Yep, could be. So nonetheless, no check means I haven't done it. A check means I know how to configure it. A check plus means I know how to configure it and troubleshoot it. The ultimate level of competence is you not only know how to set it up, but you also know how to troubleshoot it when it is broken. It's one thing to memorize commands and go, yep, that's it. But what happens when the OSPF neighbor doesn't form correctly? Know how to figure that one out? That's the check plus. And that's where so I will look and I'll be like, okay, as I'm going through, I'm studying each one of these. My whole goal is to get as many initial checks as I can. Eric, do you take, when you study for an exam, do you have any special approach that you're like, this is the way?
So I definitely take notes. I lab a lot. I mean, that's the thing. I think having the hands-on experience really makes things make sense to you. And so as you're going through material, it's like, can I do this? And the best way to find out if you could do it is to lab it. So there's definitely things you're going to have to memorize. But it's easier to memorize something if you have context. And so as you gain that experience, you're able to retain a lot more about the subject.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And I'm going to wave to the guy. I just saw this comment. I was like, there's a guy behind you, Eric, that every now and then turns around. It's like, what's going on back there? He's like, oh, it's the Sumer of CCNA happening right now. So hat tip to the guy behind you, Eric. So let me now go to, okay, how do you register? All the exams are done through peer view.
Can I mention one other thing about the exam topics? You did mention about the different levels and everything else, but really take note of the different verbiage that they use, whether it's describe, interpret, troubleshoot, configure. Like those really, really matter and really tell you how deep you need to study. I don't know, two things, like some people don't even know that this list exists and they're just grabbing a book, reading a book, and think that's how they need to study for the CCNA. If you're not following the exam topics, you're gonna waste a lot of time. When I say waste time, you're just not making sure that you're covering the things and you know what's on the exam. Like it's not a waste of time in the sense that you're gonna learn things, you're gonna get more competent. But if you want to be more prepared for the exam, know the exam topics. And then know those levels of how deep to go into each subject. And know which, like another part is the grading. Or the percentages, the weights. There's a 10%, 15%, different percentages. That's how much is on the exam for these topics. And so if, like you said, if you're studying and you want to manage your time better, you're like, I know this spot really well, and it's a large portion of this. Okay, I could spend it on this other piece. Oh, this is a small section, and I don't know it very well. Well, how much effort do I want to put into that? So, like, it'll help you gauge which areas to study to get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely. And that also goes back, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, goes back to the check plus, approach. If I'm down here in IP services and I'm really struggling with configure and verify a DHCP client and relay, I'm going to look and go, okay, that's only 10% of the exam, and that's divided between 10 different topics. So there's like a 1% chance that one's really going to nail me. So, choosing wisely is there. So Thank you for calling that out. And we will come back to this in just a moment. I know some people just do this for fun, but no, this is not pre-recorded. Suicidal Teddy. Yes, you got your call out, but I just saw it there. And where is Chuck? Someone else asked. Chuck is probably on a plane. He was at Cisco Live with Eric. Did you actually run into Chuck and hang out with him for a bit?
I didn't hang out with him too much. We shook hands, hugged, said hi, and I bumped into him. I saw his he had a little like panel that he was leading. I went to that. It was good.
Yep.
It's busy.
It is. There are thousands of people there. It is nuts. So now let's actually go straight on this this question right here. What is View? View is the testing provider that. Oh, what is wrong with Google? Google is like, they're like, I'm out of here. AI has taken our job here as Google. Let me just try this. View Pearson. It's Pearson.
Yeah,
Pearson View. There we go. Let's just get to the. There we go. This is View. So I'm going to click on what. So this is the testing provider. Cisco does not administer the exam. View does, and Pearson View does the exam for just about every major industry in the world. If you take a look, these are all tests that you can take through Pearson View. If I go find Cisco, right there is Cisco Systems, click on that guy, and they are going to take you to an SSO login. Oh, and there's Jeremy's email address. Hang on. Let me log in on a different monitor real quick. And
can you make your text larger too, please?
I will. Thank you, Zach. Verify. And back over here. So I sometimes, to my detriment, do not pre-rehearse anything. And so if you see like, oh, look, there's Jeremy's home address. Oh, look. So I'm just going to say that right now, please. One thing you'll never find is pictures of my wife or my kids or anything like that, because my poor wife was scarred. We've had many people show up at our door and be like, "Hey, I just happened to," and I'm so she was like, "That's it." And this is, decades ago, but at the same time, please be kind. So this is the dashboard where you log in, and this is where you can go in and schedule your exam. And in pass or fail, this will be where your testing history is put. I'm going to put. Let me just click on exams. Oh, there you go. If you want to know how many exams has Jeremy taken, a few. So if you want to go back and say, when was Jeremy's first test? When did he first get CCNA certified? There it was. Hey, I'm almost at my 26th year anniversary of being CCNA certified. But this is where you'll go, and you'll be able to see
text bigger.
What's that? Oh,
text bigger.
Thank you. How's that?
Perfect.
Good. Thank you. Zach, you can stay with us, because I guarantee you I'm going to make.
I'm like going in between all types of screens and stuff. So.
a thousand things. So you can. So when you take this now I'm going to show you. I'll be completely honest. When you see the 2000, this is Jeremy at 22 years old, 23 years old, taking this exam. People look and they go, "Oh my gosh, you must be a brilliant mind." It's like, pass. Remember, this is a time long before there was simulations, long before we're going to talk about this, but you are the only one that has access to this, right? Like by time I had moved from 2001, I was taking the CCIE written exam, right? And pass. But then you start seeing like, oh, things started getting harder. Like, notice we moved from some exams to IP telephony troubleshooting, right? Okay, a little more practical there. Fail. And as you go further and further in my transcript, it starts getting mug. Okay, fail. And I can tell you, you'll remember each one of those. like I can be like, okay, 2005, 21 years ago. Yeah, I remember that day. It was a bad day. But you are the only one that has access to this. If it takes you a million tries to get certified, It's not an issue at all. Nobody sees that except you. At the end of the day, all they see is CCNA. And I think I hit probably 5 different things that we could discuss as I was just walking through a little bit of that transcript. Also keep in mind, I'm gonna say this: you are you. People look at a transcript like that and be like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, realize that was a stage of my life where I was paid to get certified in a lot of things. Cisco, Microsoft, Novell back in those days, like that was my job. So you would probably be like, if I was paid to sit and study 8 hours a day and figure out exams, I think I could do pretty well too, right? So the comparison game is not a fair game to play on that. So let's regroup and look at CCNA first off from a certification exam perspective. Eric, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not sure where you're going to go with it. So, did you need the CCNA to get a job?
It depends on which job. So I was military, and so I did 7 years Army, and I got out of the Army. I moved back to Arizona, and first networking job I had, I didn't have my CCNA at the time. I never took the exam, but I got the job. But I wanted to prove it to myself, so I took it. Now, there's plenty of other jobs where it is required. So I moved to the Phoenix Valley, and I hired on as a network engineer for Wells Fargo. Definitely needed the CCNA for that job.
So they actually required it. That was like, you need.
Yeah, that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the job requirements. They wouldn't have even interviewed me if I didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends.
Yep.
There's plenty of people that hire you that will look at your experience, and that's enough. There's other employers that want credentials.
Good. So let's talk about your recent CCNA exam experience. Your very recent, as of Monday, CCNA exam experience. First question I have for you is, you've done networking now for decades of your life, right? Like, yeah. Military to Wells Fargo, school districts, you've done so much networking. How well does the CCNA map to what you actually need for the real world?
It actually helps, I think, quite a bit. The thing about the CCNA is any networking equates to Cisco. And so if you're learning the topics, you're understanding how packets flow through a network, that is all relevant stuff that having the CCNA will allow you to know. I mean, being able to understand encapsulation, decapsulation for frames and packets, and how they traverse, and how the MAC addresses change throughout the network, and different things like that. That's all good troubleshooting experience that makes you a better network engineer. And
Mm-hmm.
so I really think it helps out a ton. I'm all about getting that experience, and it's a great way to get experience.
Awesome. Good. And I will share, that is my experience as well, is CCNA. And I will, you saw that transcript. It goes all the way back to 2000 and beyond. And that's why we did Sumer of CCNA, is taking that exam and actually stepping into the world of networking. That was where I was like, okay, I know what I want to do forever. Like, before that, I was already teaching Microsoft and Novell technology. Getting the CCNA, I was like, this is actually like immediately applicable to things that I absolutely need to do, and I could make it work. And there's no, if you have to reboot to fix an issue, you're probably not in the Cisco world. Like it's so stable, reliable, and consistent. I saw one of the questions, somebody said, networking has pretty much stayed the same for decades. It is stable, reliable, consistent by design. Like there's always new things coming out, but at the core, the CCNA exam I took in, when was that? June 19th, 2000, is still the same CCNA topics, like the heart of it, still the same thing that you're seeing nowadays. Second question for you. And then I want to hit some of the questions that are actually coming in. There's so many good questions I've just seen through the side. Even people asking about your military experience. So I'll leave that to you if you want to answer some of that. But looking at the current CCNA exam, what's your sense? So I'm going to give you some options. Is it very real world hands-on troubleshooting? Is it more like, okay, if you know the concepts, you're going to get this? Is it very troubleshooting, like you got to fix this stuff oriented, which is what they're saying is going to be the big difference on the new CCNA exam? Give us a sense of the topics and how you'd suggest people prepare.
So the funny thing is, this is the third time I've taken the CCNA. The first two times was kind of that dark period where they stopped doing simulates. Like my first two exams were no simulates. So this is the first time that I had to do simulates, part of the CCNA, which was good. I mean, it was a good exam, in my opinion. It was difficult, even for me. I didn't ace it. It was a hard test. They challenged you. They weren't questions that were, what is this type of thing? It was like, look at this thing and tell me X, Y, or Z. They asked questions in a roundabout manner to see if you understood the concept. And so it wasn't that they went out and asked you something point blank. It was they asked you something in such a way that you had to understand what was going on to answer the question. So I actually thought it was a good question, a good exam.
Let me give an example, I think, and tell me if this is the style, because I don't want you to obviously give away any topics. But so when you say like they would have a multiple choice question that maybe has the output of a few switches up there, and they're like, what's the most likely cause of PC1 not being able to ping PC2 or something like that? And you have to look at the configuration. You're scrolling up and down. I'm making this up. Is this the style where it's like, you're not going to know that unless you can really assemble what this network picture is like? Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was another thing, is literally those types of questions was a lot more than the other times I took the exams. Is there was a lot more command outputs that you were evaluating. And so that's where like labbing and things really come into play. And like you don't see those in textbooks really that often.
Yeah.
I mean, they tell you the command, they say this is how you set it up, but they don't have tons of command output. They have some examples, but when you're in there and you're doing it and you're did part of it and you did the command before you've done the, like a show command before you've configured something, a show command afterwards, like that's huge compared to just seeing it in a textbook and be like, okay, it's there. It doesn't mean as much as when you could see the difference in how your configuration actually affects the system.
Awesome. Well, let's take a minute. This is a live stream, so I want to take a minute and just hit some of the questions that are over here. I haven't read them, so I'm just gonna click on some of the most recent ones. So I think you can get a certified ethical hacker without a CCNA, but I've always recommended to get a CCNA before CEH to help with network understanding. Maybe Jeremy and Eric can give a clearer answer to that. I have an opinion, but I'm curious of yours first. Would you suggest somebody just go straight into like security? I'll say cybersecurity, or get a CCNA first?
Well, what I'm always surprised is how other IT disciplines know little about networking and how it is a hindrance to them at a certain point. And so I remember when I was working for the hospital up in Cholo, Arizona, and I actually took an 8-week course. Well, I taught the rest of my team for 8 weeks, teaching them Cisco topics, like understanding more than what a default gateway is. And because they say, oh, I put in my IP, it's subnet mask, default gateway. That's about the most that most system admins know about the network, because they entered that into a server. And so explaining how that works, how it gets routed, where it goes from there, like helps out a ton. Now, taking that into cybersecurity, that's where you do all your root cause analysis, the pivoting that happens on networks of how things come in and pivot to other parts. Like, you have to be able to trace and understand that flow of information through the network, because if you can't understand that flow through the network, you can't secure it. And so if you don't understand those paths, you're blind. And so you need to know networking.
Yep. And I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with you. It's kind of, it's like, you said it so non-offensively, and I love it. You're like, I have seen so many IT disciplines. I wish I could say it as succinctly as you. So many IT disciplines that could benefit from knowing networking because it leaves a gap in there. You said it so well. Yes, and I will tell you, and right in line with this, certified CEH, ethical hacker, via the MSP that actually Eric came from. We're still running. We just got our SOC 2 compliance. We went through an audit, and we were working with a whole bunch of people that were cybersecurity experts. And it was clear as they were asking a lot of the questions that they were like, well, do you have this? And I'm like, well, yeah, we do. Let me explain it. And they're kind of like, yes or no. And I'm like, yes. So like, you could see really quick that they didn't really understand what exactly a VLAN was, in the case that they were talking about right there. So yes, that would be huge. And thank you, Zach, for pinning some of these questions. So many of them. I'm going to ask on this, and I can tell you, so I am almost 50. like as I say that, I'm like, that's a thing. And the question here is, I'm about to turn 50. This question, I'm transitioning career. So incredibly difficult to get a start when all your experience is in retail management. I will lean into that and say, yes. First off, it is incredibly difficult to move from management into, for instance, a career like CCNA. What I would suggest is to lean in to your differences, meaning CCNA is like, sometimes people are like, if I get a CCNA, I must become a network engineer. And that there are so many different paths. Like if you've got a strong retail management background, retail management, you're often working with a lot of people that are like, you need to do it this way, this way, this way. Like moving into project management aligns right with that, or a network engineer management role, or even just a NOC management role. So get the CCNA and lean into all the experience that you bring that a 20-something getting a CCNA would not have. Because they may be able to run circles around you technically because they literally lived it while you were in the retail management world. But at the same time, you bring so much other experience. Eric, I'm curious of your perspective there.
Yeah, so especially in large organizations, there's a lot of collaboration between teams. It's very siloed and everything else. And being able to break down those silos and be able to talk to different people and collaborate is actually huge in IT, because most IT people don't.
You can just put the period right there. Most of them don't. They just want to be left alone. I just want to configure my device. And it's such a rude awakening when they find out, oh, there's teams and coordination. And
right.
Eric, you're working with a huge team now. And yeah, it's a thing. You answer this one first. I'm curious of it. Would you say it's still worth pursuing the CCNA if you already got a Network Plus, but no pro experience beyond labbing? What do you think?
Absolutely. Network Plus is an interesting certification. That's one of the 3 CompTIAs that I actually never got. I got my A Plus and Security Plus, but not the Net Plus. The thing about the Network Plus, it's vendor agnostic. And so it teaches you the OSI layers, TCP/IP, a lot about different protocols, how things work. It'll even talk about de-encapsulation. So it gets into a lot of different theory and different things about it. So it's a great foundation because of all those things. But like you said, there's not really much practical configuration. And that's where you start understanding things, in my mind anyway, is when you start doing it and you do it wrong, how to fix it, and all these other things. When you make it practical, that's when you're gonna kind of level up. And so that's kind of what the CCNA allows you to do, is like get in the actual hardware, make these configuration changes, do them wrong, and pull your hair out until you figure out why it's not working. And then you know better because you've been through the hard knocks.
Yep. I have nothing else to add to that. You're 100% right. Network Plus, it's a good exam. I have taken it. And it's a good exam. I walked away being like same feeling that you got, Eric, when you took CCNA. You're like, that was a good test. Like I walked away, I was like, I felt good after taking Network Plus. But that said, very much like agnostic, no configuration, which is the heart of networking. Let me answer this one. Are you able to use a cheat sheet? So I'm guessing on the exam. Are you able to use a cheat sheet with commands, or are you expected to remember commands? So no, you can't bring in a cheat sheet of command that actually is called cheating. So you can't do that. You can't, like, I know I don't know. I don't know. I've heard that some places let you bring in like 1 page full of notes, but maybe that's, yeah, no, nothing was, so no. But the other, I want to go into the, are you expected to remember commands? Yes and no. This is your first experience with simulets, Eric. Describe the simulators. How did it feel? Was it real? Do you have to memorize and remember exact syntax, or what was it like?
I would say yes. The reason why I say yes, because you can do question marks. It is actual iOS. It's running Cisco CML in the background. The problem is you do a question mark, there's 30 different options, and you're like, oh, what? Which one was it? And then you do that partial command and do another question mark and be like, what was that next piece that I need to do? So you can do those things, but really I had 5 simulets, which is on the high end of things. Usually it's 3 or 4, and they want you to be done in, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes per simlet. And so if you're spending lots of time searching the commands and trying to remember how it worked, it's going to eat up a lot of your time. You still might get through it, but that's where labbing beforehand is great, because you're like, can I do it without following the lab guide? Can I do it with just being tasked to do configure single area OSPF? If you could do it that way, you're prepared. And so that's how I would grade myself going into an exam, is any of the ones that say troubleshoot or configure or even evaluate. Do I know those commands off the top of my head, that if it says evaluate or configure, I don't have to look up the syntax to do it, because that'll just allow me to have more time for all the other questions.
Yep. And I agree with you. And it's hard. I twitch because it's hard for me to say memorize commands because it reminds me, if I were to pull up that transcript again, you would see on there CCIE practical exam, San Jose, California, fail. CCIE practical exam, California, fail. It took me 3 times to get the CCIE practical exam. And that's where you actually are flying to San Jose or some other Cisco location, spending a full day configuring the most bizarre network you've ever dreamed of. And the very first time I took the CCIE, I literally tried to memorize all the Cisco commands, which tells you just how much I was not prepared. I was like, okay, if they ask this, and I literally filled, you know, those little yellow pads. I filled a yellow pad, just pages after page of like, okay, here's all the OSPF commands. Like I treated it like a memorization exam, and it so was not. And so that's where I like when you're saying I would recommend memory. I know you're not thinking like if they ask me to configure OSPF area 0 for network 10, like I'm going to write all those like, but you should have a general sense because you don't want to be hitting question mark and be like, what, you know, like you've never seen that list before.
So the thing is too, on this topic, I wanted to bring up one other thing around syntax is sometimes there's more than one way to skin a cat, but they'll ask for a specific one. So set up OSPF, but do it on the interface.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about there. Multiple ways to configure OSPF networks, which that's down the road. We'll talk about that. But so they actually are going to guide you of like, you need to do it that way, even though you could do it. It's a full CML. You could do it another way, but they're saying, you know how to do it that way. So
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I will say that might be worth memorizing some commands. Next question. Does the CCNA hold value in 2026? I'll grab this one and say, yes, absolutely it does. So it's one of the reasons at Network Chuck Academy, we went this route. And I was like, this is the 7th most valuable certification in the world. And it's pulling data from the number of employers asking about it. Eric just shared, he wouldn't have got the job at Wells Fargo if he didn't have it. It was like, you need this or else you're not getting a job here. And so that's why we did it. And yes, it very much holds value.
And because they make it hard. The thing is, it's not an easy test. And so like it's doable, but they pride themselves in making a difficult test because they want to show value to employers. If everybody could just go and whip it out and get it easily, it wouldn't show value to employers. And so they make it difficult enough so that employers know that you put an effort towards it. So it shows that you have dedication, you know the skills to do networking, like it has good value.
Yep. All right. The ultimate topic on everybody's mind when they take a CCNA, subnetting. Did you run into like, obviously we're not going to tell what the questions say, but would you have passed if you did not know how to subnet? Let me put it that way.
I would say no. Like you need to know subnetting. Like, so this was kind of a surprise to me and because of how, because like I was saying earlier, they ask questions in a roundabout way to see if you know these exam topics. So the thing is like subnetting is there. And so you expect to be like, oh, break this down, this, that, another. I technically had one, maybe 2 questions like that in particular, where it's like first usable IP, last usable IP, or something like that, where you actually had to do subnetting. The other thing, though, is longest prefix match.
Wow.
And so there was
you're looking at routing tables, trying to figure out why is it going that way or going that way. So
you have this IP, does it fit in one of these? That's subnetting. Yep. That's a form of subnetting. Does it fit within this range? Which range does it fit in? And so longest prefix match is a type of subnetting, and you have to understand how it fits in.
Yep. And that is the big part, is when you learn subnetting, which you will. Again, we're talking about topics that are up and coming. You will learn subnetting and you will know how to do it, and you will feel good. You'll show your friends. You'll be like, look, I can fill this thing. Like, okay, they asked me this. What are the range? Da, 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 da. That's one piece of it, but there's actually very few. It's always been this way. Very few exam questions that's like, okay, take that subnet and break it into, or take that network and break it into 50 subnets or something like that, right? That's the skill, but it's more so integrated into everything. Like, why can't that PC ping the other side? And there's a variety of things. Why can't the default gateway be reached by this device? And obviously we're talking about the topic, but it's going to be buried in the big old scenario to where you're like, oh, got it. You know, there, it's outside of the range. And so because of the custom subnet mask, it didn't work. So subnetting, I agree.
So one other thing that was a surprise, IPv6. More questions than you realize.
Subnetting. Really? Subnetting IPv6.
Yep. I was surprised.
That is a surprise. Even for me, I was thinking IPv6 has always been there, but it's always been an honorable mention. Like, recognize that. Oh,
right.
that
you might have one or two questions that even have anything to do it. I was surprised. I had quite a few of the problems I had, whether it's variable subnet mask or other things, that was IPv6.
This is good. And this is why having Eric here is so relevant. I mean, we haven't got there. We won't get there until the very end of the CCNA material, but that's something that we can definitely enforce quite a bit. Okay. Very, very practical question. Still this way? Can you skip questions and come back to them later, Eric?
I don't think so, but I don't remember. When I took it, like the way I take tests is like, they're gone once I hit next, because like I either got it right or not. I'm not going to worry about it. So
I will confirm that. And Eric was in the zone. They are gone. Once you hit next, you cannot go back to the previous question on here, which is painful at times, because you'll see later on, you're like, oh, that was the answer. And then you're like, because the questions just kind of work that way. Does the CCNA expire or need to be renewed? Yes, it does. It expires every 3 years. And let's be real, life happens. Like, if I were to show you again that list of exams that I've taken, all of them have expired at this point. Life happens, and that's why certification is awesome. Actually, I saw somebody type in, I wasn't going to bring it up, but now I will. And you won't know who it is because it's buried somewhere in the thing. They're like, certification, whatever. That's why I got a college degree, is because then I don't have to worry about any of these exams and things like that. And I was like, interesting. But I will say the reason they expire is because technology changes. Like, if you're in an IT field and you're expecting that the knowledge you got back when you got your college degree is going to carry you through for the rest of your life, I'm guessing, Eric, you've learned a few things as you've moved between careers.
Yeah. The funny thing is about expiring certs, though, is an expired cert still holds weight.
Mm-hmm.
It does. So there's been plenty of times where somebody's got their CCNA, CCNP, or something like that, but they let it lapse. I know they took that exam. I could see the expired cert, and so it actually still holds weight. So.
Mm-hmm. Eric, I know we're totally focused on cert, and that's the whole topic of this live stream. Actually, let me just, time flies so fast. We are about halfway through. Let me just make sure if people are just joining, because this live stream, every other Thursday, we do like everybody that has jumped on. This is for Sumer of CCNA. We're focused on the cert CCNA exam. Zach, you've popped in. I'm assuming you have some, or you're just here. Zach's just here. Okay, cool. So we are talking all about the CCNA certification exam right now. Chuck, where is Chuck? I know I've seen that question a lot. Chuck is at Cisco Live. He's actually, I think, on a plane. Eric is actually sitting at the airport at Cisco Live. And that's where I'm just like, Eric, I'm so glad you joined us. So Chuck will be back. I'm hoping he gets back and is able to join, but chances are slim. So
just a reminder, this is all for the Summer of CCNA program. So if y'all haven't looked into that yet, I put a QR code on the screen for you guys. It's not too late to sign up. You can sign up for the premium. You get access to all the labs and everything that we offer there. And you do have time to catch up still. I mean, we're about a month into it, so you do have to catch up actually, but it's okay because this isn't a race. Learning is absolutely not a race in any way whatsoever. But right now, you still have time to catch up if y'all'd like to.
Oh,
I don't know what happened there.
I disappeared for a second. That was strange. You disappeared. I was like, oh, Zach's gone. And then all of a sudden everybody froze. I'm like, I'm gone. so nonetheless, yes. And for those that are wondering, Summer of CCNA, there's a thing there, but we offer a free option. Like you can go through the whole CCNA course that we have for free. The paid version we are literally meeting with people every single day. And Zach is right there with us. It's not a lie. Chuck and I are there every single day meeting with people to walk you through this.
Yeah, so I just to comment on that, because like what you all are seeing right now, for those of you who have not joined the Summer of CCNA program, like Jeremy was saying, every single day at 5 o'clock Eastern time, we get together with our students and check in with them and make sure everything is going okay. We try to answer any questions that they have. And it's just there to provide like a general kind of accountability for you so that we can help you along the way throughout this journey. We're there to support you. And that's what I think makes this program so different from any other learning experience that you're going to have out there. We are here every single day to support you. So.
Yeah, Zach joined us from some other training providers right before we started the Summer of CCNA. He like literally we're like, "Hi, Zach, welcome!" Boom, and it like all hit all at once. He's like, "Bah!" But he even said when he joined, he's like, "Nobody's ever done anything like this. Like instructors don't meet with students every day for months." And I'm like, "We are." And so nonetheless, you're getting a taste of what people are getting every single day at the Summer of CCNA. So. All that said, back to you, Eric, because this question I think this is when I'm like, let's just take a moment and step back from CCNA, because let's talk about what CCNA is preparing you for. What does a day in the life of Eric Pope look like?
Man, could be so varied. It's so hard because the thing is, like, I manage firewalls, data center switches. I even have some F5s in my environment. I have routers. So I work for a power utility, and so like with old serial stuff that I deal with, and so it's a broad thing. A lot of security, a lot of zero trust, so a lot of firewall rules, a lot of changes, a lot of change management and documentation. Especially working in a team, I've definitely worked in small teams and large teams. Small teams, documentation isn't very well maintained. Large teams, it's not either necessarily, but it has to be a little bit more because you're blind, because you're the one that didn't do it. And so if you didn't do the work, you don't know about it unless it got documented. And so documentation is super helpful. You don't want to necessarily go overboard with documentation, but it needs to be at that right level so that you can support the rest of your team, or they can support you. But yeah, a lot of scheduling things, a lot of prep. I definitely do a lot of labbing or configuring stuff before. So there's like this last year, I did a big switch lifecycle. I lifecycled about 90 switches across 2 data centers. And one of the things that is an issue is we're a power utility. And so downtime is an issue. And so I have to do it in such a way that as a little downtime as possible. So pre-stage all the equipment, get it configured, make sure that I have cutover plans, make sure I understand that. A lot of communication, letting people know that I'm doing this work and this is when I'm doing it. This is the possible impacts of what I'm doing. And then because I do all that prep work, because I go through the due diligence, the outage windows could be a lot shorter, a lot faster, less impactful for others. And so that's a lot of what I do as a network engineer is related to things like that.
And it's completely different than what Eric did at VIA. He worked at VIA with me. You joined right after COVID. I remember that because you came into a dark office, like we were all like, we don't know what to do. So we were still in that phase of life. And it was, I mean, Eric literally walked into an everything on fire all the time sort of state. So he was like putting things out. And so it is wildly varied. And I want to answer this question too, but actually before I do, let me yank that off there. Cause I want to, Zach, with you here, I want to talk about cert exam specific emotional impact. Meaning when you take a certification exam, it will be either the best day of your life or the worst. It's just the game you play. You gotta dance the dance. Zach, I know you've taken exams just like we all have. What is your sense of the emotional impact of passing or failing? And did it stop you from continuing to go back and try again?
So I'm going to take this probably differently than what people are going to expect, but failing my Security Plus was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Shut up.
Yes.
It was not. Come on.
100%. It was the best reality check. It was the best way to indicate like where I failed on the exam, which was phenomenal because they give you those, results. But this was the first time I've ever taken an exam. It's the only certification that I have. And I had no idea what to expect. And that was the biggest hurdle for me personally. Like that's what terrified me the most. And what made me happy that I at least got to experience it, even though I failed it, is I at least got to understand what that experience was like. Walking into the testing center, signing up for it, taking your picture and all of that, right? And then sitting down in a computer lab with other people there who were taking completely different exams. It was different. And I'm glad I got to experience that because my nerves were just, oh my gosh, they were killing me beforehand because I was just so nervous to walk into the building. So going through the first time and failing the Security Plus, while it was very upsetting for sure. I remember having literally tears in my eyes, like, oh my gosh, I studied so hard for this. I put so much time and effort into this and I failed. And it was the best thing that happened to me because again, I was able to understand and walk away from that experience of I have a lot to learn and that's okay. Like I know I'm capable of doing this. I know if I put my mind to it, I can accomplish this. But I think just that the weight of failing and being like, okay, I failed it, but I'm gonna do it again. Like that whole mindset, I think is what I want everybody to try to have, no matter what, when you walk into an exam, right? Like you might fail, you might pass it, and that's great, but if you do fail it, every failure, I wouldn't even say it was a failure. And at the time I specifically said this is not a failure. This is a learning experience. And that's what I think everybody needs to take away from any type of quote unquote failure that you might have is this, you're not failing. You're learning from this. And that's what all of IT is, because we are going to fail. We are going to loop a switch back into itself at some point. We are going to take an entire network down. But what did we learn from that? Right? Like, how are we walking away from that experience?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, that's how I took it. And I think it was about a month later, I studied, I looked at said, hey, you failed in these different domains. And I came back and then I crushed it. And then that was the best feeling because I had the entire emotional roller coaster from that of the low to the absolute high of oh my gosh, I just passed this exam. All that hard work, it paid off. Even though it sucked at first, we came back and crushed it. And that's just, I think that's just part of everybody's experience. We're all going to go through those ebbs and flows of things, but it's how we look at those ebbs, I guess, right? Those are the downs, and how we walk away from those, and what that does to us, as we look forward, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yeah, go for it, Eric.
So,
I've so many thoughts, so please take it.
I put off taking my CCNA for so many years. I was in the Army for 7 years and never took it. Like, I could have, but it was a fear thing. Like, I was like, yeah, it was. Like, because I've never. That was the first certification I ever took, was the CCNA. And so
how long were you working in IT? At the
14 years.
14. So it was about 16 years, I think, for me. I was working in IT for 16 years before I ever took my first certification.
It was crazy that I waited that long. Like, it was just crazy, because it was a fear thing. It's like, what if I fail? Like, what if I'm not where I think I am? And so that's the thing, is like, what people say to do, and I totally agree with it. You're starting to plan right now. You're going to do the summer CCNA. If you scheduled your exam already, just do it. Schedule it. Pay for it. You have a due date now, and you have money on the line. Whenever you put money on the line, you're more willing to do it. And so I would do that. And then, even if you don't think you're ready, don't waste that money. Take the test, because it gives insight. Like Zach was saying, now you know exactly. You've gone through the experience. You've done the thing that makes the unknowns go away, because now you know what to expect, what to do going into there. And so, just do it. Like, set that due date, take the exam, and get it over with. Because people wait too long.
Is there anybody here in the chat right now that is afraid of scheduling it, afraid of taking it, afraid to going into the testing center? Like, let us know in the chat. I want to see how many people are out there who have these fears or doubts or whatnot, right? Because I think you're all going to be surprised that we all face that. Like, we all have those types of fears and doubts and worries.
Yep. And I know it's so much to say on this. But like, different personalities handle this differently. Totally. Like, there's personalities where it's like, I have to be perfect. We have to do this well. And like a lot of times identity is even wrapped up in that. So to even look at an exam and be like, what if I fail? It can even cut to the core of like, because then I, as a person, am a failure, right? It's almost like it can impact you. I'm gonna shorten all of my thoughts, because I could talk for so long on this thing, because I've taken hundreds of exams over the years. So I've become numb to a lot of that pain, even though it still hurts. But I've also worked with students, thousands of them over the years, that will go and take an exam and they fail, and they're like, this isn't for me. I failed. I'm never going back. And they completely are like, this is not it. And it's funny. I'm watching the comments still flooding through of just, yes, this is me. I'm afraid of failure. And I'll share my mini story, because I could tell hundreds of them. But I'll just tell my mini story. I'm one of those personalities that doesn't, like, something short-circuited me, I'm broken. My wife loves this about me, and she hates this about me. She's like, you are fearless. You will walk into a wall and be like, oh, what? Like, it's just that I lack that emotion. But that's also why in my younger days, I'm jumping out of planes. I'm taking motorcycles into walls. I mean, I could tell stories, right? Like, stupid stories, but I will take exams. And when I miss it, and so I'll give you that's my personality type. When I miss it, I'm like, ugh! Like, it's more of like, anger. Like I'm just like, oh, because it's not so much that I failed, because it doesn't impact me at all. I'm just like, that was so dumb. And then I'm like, I know that, like, and it's just like, I just get angry. And at that point, I'm just like, I have to do that again. Like, that's the feeling that I get when I fail. I'm just like, now I have to come back here. I have to do it again. And I'll tell you what not to do, because I've done this. So here's the worst day of my life, certification testing wise. I went to take an exam. And I went through, and you get, at the end, you get a score report, and you'll see a little bar, and like, here's how, like, I missed it by like 10 points. It's like on a scale of 1,000. And I'm like, "Ugh!" and I called the testing provider right there. I'm like, hook me up. Do you have another testing slot? They're like, yeah, we have another testing slot. I'm like, do it again. It was like, thank you, sir. Can I have another? And I go in there and I take it. And now the gap is 50 points. I miss it by, and I'm like, "Ugh!" And I call them back. I'm like, hit me again. I'm like, I can do this. I know what I did wrong. And the gap kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So 3 exams failed. I didn't show you that part of my transcript. 3 exams failed one day. I came home. I was so mad. But like, and of course my counseling wife, which actually I'm not, I will go there. Jeremy, why do you do that to yourself? So different personalities, different reactions. But I'm curious, after taking those exams, Zach, Eric, did it open something up to where you're like, I don't feel fear failure anymore? Or is it still there of like, I don't, like, if I was like, all right, Eric, why don't you go CCNP? Zach, why don't you go certified ethical hacker? Are you like, did something change, or do you still experience that?
I think it's still there, but it's different, because you have experience now. You've been through it before, so like, there's certain aspects of it are gone, so you could do things because you've done them before. But there's always that, what if I don't pass? Like, did I do enough? Do I really know this topic? Do these things? So, but like you said, it could be fuel. It could help push you along and make sure that you do what you need to, which I kind of do already because of that, because I always go in feeling, I don't think I know this enough. So like, I think I mentioned this to you when I started at VIA. Like, I went through your course a complete time, the second time I took my CCNA, because I was like, there's things that I'm sure I just don't know. So I'm just going to go through everything all over again because
how funny.
Because I was like, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So like, I'll do things to myself like that, of like going through material I already know, which I shouldn't do. I should be more practical about understanding my failure points and studying those. But yeah, it can be a big motivation to, when you have that pressure.
Yeah. And what's the worst that's going to happen? I mean, the worst I think that's going to happen is you're out of money, right? And believe me, I trust me. I know how hard that is, and that is the absolute worst part of it. But like, you fail, right? Like, we're all going to fail in life. Like, honestly, I'm sorry to like say that to you. If nobody's ever told you that before, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be like harsh with that. But at some point, we all are going to experience failures, and it's how we pick ourselves up after that. And it's getting the word failure out of your head. And it's embracing, like, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to treat this as a learning experience, first and foremost, above all. Like, you can be in your head about it for a couple of minutes afterwards. Believe me, like, that's fine. Take a few minutes, cry it out. I did that. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But after about 5 minutes, I was like, all right. My whole like mental like outlook on this changed, because I was like, I can do this. Like, this sucked, but I can absolutely do it. And I know that you guys can as well.
Yep. So, and I will also add, it looks like and I know this nowadays. Remember, I was testing back in 2000 before they had all these policies. Nowadays, if you take an exam and you fail it, they put a mandatory 5-day waiting period on retaking the exam. It's not because they don't want you to test again. It's because that's how people build brain dumps, is they start going through and trying to dump a whole bunch of questions and things like that. So nowadays, not only is it a bad idea if you fail to take it the same day, you can't. So keep that in mind. Cool. What else? I know we jumped into the what else? Eric, you just took it. Which actually, it's funny, now that you've told that story, this is your first time winging it. Congratulations. Yeah. You just walked in, winged the CCNA, and were successful. But that was probably a big, did you, going in this time, were you like, I don't care? Or was it still like, I should take Jeremy's CCNA course all over again?
No. There's always that wonder if you are going to pass, though. Like, because like I didn't ace it. It was still a tough test. I didn't, and so it's just like I was pretty confident when I was done that I did pass, but I was just like, there's definitely questions in there I didn't know. So there's always that little bit of pressure going through things. One thing I wanted to bring up that I don't think has been mentioned about certification is it's been about 6+ years since I took my other test, and that's why it was expired. Back then, you had to take either the CCNA again or the next higher level cert. Well, they have continuing education credits now, and so you could do renewals that way, or you could just skip ahead to the CCNP, which I considered. I was like, I'm not ready for the CCNP. I'm not going to take it. I could retake the CCNA and pass that. So, but I actually do think I'm going to start going through the CCNP and take the NCAR.
Awesome. I think you will. It will be so cool for you. You're in the best spot to do the CCNP. You're in a career that's using it, and you will start filling in so many cracks and be like, oh, I didn't even know that. It's fun to be where you're at.
So hey, Eric before this one, because Eric he winged it, right? But I've seen this question come up a few times. This is actually one of them right here. It's perfect because this leads right into it. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So Daniel's asking, after finishing the Sumer of CCNA program, how long should I wait before scheduling the CCNA exam? And what would be the ideal time frame after completing the program to take the test? Yeah, which led into we had a bunch of questions of like, how long should I study before I take the exam? Do you guys want to chime in on that? Because I have some thoughts too on that.
I would say as soon as you're done. So like I said, is like I would schedule it out when you plan on being done with whatever you plan on being done with, but setting that goal and then just taking it right away. I wouldn't take any extra time unless that time was actually doing other studying, but that's part of your plan. So I would always schedule it so you have a deadline, because that's where ADHD, the pressure builds as you get through something. So I'm more likely to ramp up as I'm getting closer and closer to that date, and doing more and more studying. And so that's why that deadline is so great for me. So I would wait.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't wait to schedule the exam either. But part of this, I think a lot of people are like, is it going to take me 3 months? Like, like 3 months, is that enough time to study for the CCNA? 6 months, is that enough time to study for the CCNA? And Eric's saying, he would schedule it right away, but everybody is different, right? And like, this is what where it's hard to answer these types of questions, because like all of us learn so differently from one another. We're all driven by things that are completely different from one another as well. So what I hope you all take away from part of this, because you're going to hear and see many people in the chat say, I studied for the CCNA in 6 weeks and I went and passed it. And see somebody else who said, like, I took the CCNA 5 times. It took me 5 times to pass the CCNA, right? Everybody is different. Everybody is going to go through a different experience throughout this. Please, for the love of everything, do not compare yourself to other people. This is your journey and your journey alone. And it could take you a year, and that's okay. It could take you 3 months. That's okay too, right? But don't look at like other people's successes as like you have to like meet that and measure up to that, because you absolutely don't. At the end of the day, you get your CCNA, you've got your CCNA. It doesn't matter how long it took you. you have it. And that's what's most important going forward then. This is an entire journey. As you're going through the information technology career field, it is a journey and it takes time, and you don't have to race and rush. And I would strongly suggest that you don't race or rush. Just embrace the journey as much as you can.
Yeah, I would say definitely schedule your time out, especially if you've never done networking before. I mean, 3 months is bare minimum of time, that or much more. And so give yourself time. It takes time to learn these topics and do things along the way, whether it's practice exams, labbing. Labbing gives such great feedback because you're like, how long did it take me? Did I need to review my notes? Could I just read what was asked of me and not look up syntax or other information? If you could gauge yourself as you go along, you'll know how prepared you are for different things. And so do that on a regular basis. Like there was this guy at work that was prepping for his CCNA, and I kept on telling him, once a week, there's different exam simulators out there. Take it every Friday. I mean, yes, you'll probably run out of their questions, everything, but it helps you gauge where you are to a certain degree. And so just try to gauge where you are, because then you're able to gauge how ready you are. And so he would be kind of scared of it. So I kept on encouraging him to do it.
2 weeks. That's the answer. That's how long to prepare for the CCNA. So if you need a knife in a wall, the Summer of CCNA runs through the end of August. Schedule it 2 weeks after that. Because that's what we did. We put the whole schedule together, study, practice, 78 labs that Eric built. By the way, Eric Robert Clough is QAing every single one of those labs, and he's loving it. He's like, oh, the guy that we know. 2 weeks after so that gives you time to fill in, like, okay, I need to go back to this, go back to that, and then just go at it and do it. I don't know why this made me chuckle. Guys, don't take the CCNA. It's a big scam. There you go. So
strongly disagree with that. Not, you know what? Not because of this program, right? Not because that's what we're here to talk about. Like, truly, honestly, like, I want people to know, like, the CCNA is one of the most marketable certifications that exists in the world of IT. And what I mean by that is a certification that every single employer will see and recognize and respect. There aren't many other certifications that have that same exact power. I guarantee you that. So that's one way to look at it. Sorry.
Yep. I'm gonna throw this one out there. I chuckle when people say things like that. So I'm gonna give you a little insider track, and actually, Zach, you just saw this morning. This is wide open to you. Real question is, do Jeremy and Chuck plan on taking the new one on day one? Well, first off, on one of the previous live streams, Chuck, this is when we were together, and Chuck is emotional. He's like, if 1,000 people get their CCNA and Summer of CCNA, I'm going to get my CCNP. And I'm like, brother, I don't know if you're going to do that, but nonetheless, he committed to that. What we're doing, are we taking the new CCNA on day one? We actually just laid out the plan through 2027, like midway through. Chuck and I will be re-recording the CCNA for the new, at that point, it'll be what? Actually, it'll probably be Summer of CCNA again, next summer. So during that window, we will be creating a new CCNA. This will be, it's like the Matrix, where the agent was like, this is our 9th time destroying the Matrix. I've recorded the CCNA so many times. Sometimes I've got little Lego guys on there. Sometimes I've got Castle Ryzen, Coffee, RFP. I do it different every single time, and I guarantee you something bizarre will hit me and I'll be like, ooh. So we don't patch courses because you get weird, like, oh, you look so much younger there, Jeremy. And it's just like, so it'll be a completely new one when we get there. And of course, Micah says, but you should. I don't know. That's a response. You should take Jeremy's CCNA course again.
I know people are going to ask. I know that we answered this already earlier in the stream, but since you brought it up, that we are going to be not re-recorded. We're going to be recording new content for the new CCNA. Should people wait to take the new CCNA? I just want to stress this again.
All right, Eric, you're shaking your head. I think we mentioned this at the very beginning.
We did.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, why wait? And because the thing is like, it leaves you the pressure, it pushes that date off. It's so easy to put exams off. Don't wait. Just do it. Like I said, I waited way too long before I took my first cert, and I should have done it so much sooner.
But you can go and take the current CCNA right now up until I think it was like February 22nd of 2027 or something like that. If you take the CCNA right now on February 22nd, on that date, February 22nd, 2027 or whatever, that certification is still valid for 3 years. So up until 2030, that certification is still valid. Nobody's going to look at that CCNA and say, well, it's not the current one, we're not going to take this. They're going to look at it and say, oh, you have a CCNA, you're certified. Nobody's going to judge you for what version that certification is.
Eric, you just took the CCNA on Monday. You said you didn't ace it. You missed something. Did the test show you what questions you got wrong?
Not the questions. So you have the different domains, and they grade you in the different domains. And so you'll kind of get a range within that domain of how well you did. And so at least you get a general idea of where you can start working.
I'm looking through all the questions. So many good questions to study. Let me throw this one out there, and I'm curious, Eric, if you have any perspective on this. Do you recommend any books too for the studies? I'll throw out there that I think I've even seen him mentioned. We had him on the last 2 weeks ago. We invited Jeremy Stretch, who everybody thinks is me, but he's not me. He's the guy who runs Jeremy's IT lab. Also, the
Jeremy
guy
Stretch.
No,
that's
the
the
Netbox guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Jeremy McDowell. Sorry, Jeremy, if you're
go.
watching. Yes, there's too many of us. They've cloned us. So Jeremy Stretch built a open source product called Netbox it's fantastic for network documentation. There's actually a course on that on the Sumer of CCNA taught by Jeremy Chora about Jeremy Stretch. But Jeremy's IT lab guy, Jeremy McDowell, that's where I got the idea for recreating the CCNA for the 8th time. His publisher reached out to me and said, hey, Jeremy McDowell is writing a CCNA book. Can you tech edit it? And I was like, I'd love to. It's, flip. And so as I was doing that, I'm like, oh man, that's where the whole thing came from. I'm like, I got to record the CCNA. So if you want to know a book that literally aligns directly with the outline of Sumer of CCNA, go get Jeremy. I almost said Stretch again. Jeremy McDowell's book. Jeremy's IT lab guy. He wrote a book on that. But Eric, did you use any book? It's been a while since you've done it. Any books that you would recommend?
So back when I was actually studying, there was a book, and there probably is a refresh to it, but 31 Days Before Your CCNA. It actually was pretty good. It went over different things of like, hey, I've gone through all the material, but here's the last 31 days, and we'll re-go over all the different topics in a very concise manner. It's not as thick as some other books, and so I enjoyed that book.
Good. I want to throw this one out there. This Mustarb said, loving the free Sumer of CCNA. We have literally 35,000. There's probably way more. I haven't even pulled the stats lately, but when we started it a month ago, there was 35,000 people that had signed up for Sumer of CCNA. And this is one of them. I love the free tier of it, but a budget stops me from buying labs. Can a zero budget student pass without them, or unbiased? Should I switch to Jeremy's IT lab for its free packet tracer labs? Anki, I don't know what that is. But first off, Sumer of CCNA when I built that course, I built it around Packet Tracer Labs. So if you want to build your own labs in Packet Tracer, anybody can build their own Packet Tracer labs. You could go to Jeremy's IT lab and get his labs. He's got a lot of labs recreated. As you're following the course, and that's where I would ask you, Mustarb, if you're following the course, I hope you're building. I've said it so many times in the course. I'm like, do this, build the Packet Tracer labs. You can do that. We just, for the paid tier, we actually built Cisco modeling labs. Eric, that's how it works. I just sucked in all of Eric's right there. We built, actually Eric built them all, built all the Sumer of CCNA Cisco modeling labs that is on real gear. And that's where, so yeah, even the free folks have the ability to do that.
And why switch when you can do both?
Absolutely. So last question, because we're almost out of time. Eric, do you feel like somebody, you just took it Monday, do you feel like somebody who's never done a lab can pass the CCNA exam without ever having hands-on?
I don't think so. Yeah, you've got that's like we were talking about Network Plus versus CCNA. Network Plus, no configuration, no anything, very much theory and whatnot. That's the difference between the CCNA and the Network Plus, is it's practical. And you learn a lot by doing. And so you have to get into that command line and start doing it. And not just configuring, like I was saying, is a lot that was in the exam was evaluating command outputs, different show commands and different things like that. And so you have to know how those change and what affects those and different things like that. So even in different labs, Packet Tracer or whatnot, even if there is a lab guide, play around. Don't just follow it. There's definitely time and place to just follow a lab, and that's your very first time being exposed to it. Mm-hmm. Anytime past that, play around, break it on purpose, do the show commands before and after, see how they change, and other things like that. Just like, that's what's great about a lab environment, is you can play with it, you can break it, you can do whatever you want. Because before Packet Tracer, before CML, like, I had a production network. I couldn't just go in and play. We didn't have a lab and extra hardware, and so it was a lot harder to do those things, to gain that experience. Like, take advantage of these tools and play with them.
Absolutely. Good. Well, Eric, you're at the airport. We've heard the little boom in the background so many times, and I'm reminded, I'm like, thank you, man. Thank you for making this part of your day, for sharing your experience with us at Cisco Live with the taking the certification exam. You've got that most recent experience, and I know I appreciate it in a huge way, but I know thousands of people that are listening to this right now also are like, dude, appreciate it. Thank you. Thumbs up. Zach, why don't you wind us down?
All right. Thank you again, Eric, of course. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here, sharing your knowledge with everybody. We couldn't do it without you guys, of course. If you've enjoyed this stream, again, you guys can sign up for the Sumer of CCNA. If you sign up for premium, you get access to daily check-ins just like this. They're only about, well, they're supposed to be a half hour, but Jeremy doesn't know how to stop himself. So they're about 45 minutes or so every day, but they're a lot of fun. I mean, if you like connecting with, the community, connecting with other students who are going through the same experience as you, that's a great way to start building your social network, which is phenomenal for you these days. And I cannot recommend that enough. But you are also able to join us on Discord. We have, we're going to have a lot of fun classes and things coming up this year and next year. So definitely join us, be part of the community. And we'll be doing this stream again, just like this, in about 2 weeks. So if you guys want to come back and join us for that, you can do that as well. And every single Tuesday now, we do Ask Me Anythings on Discord, where everybody can join. So if you guys have more questions that you want to ask about anything IT related, please join us on Discord and connect with us. We would love to have you there. But until next time, or tomorrow for some of you. We'll see you all then. Have a great day. Take care, everybody.
Take care. See you guys.
Bye.